President John Mahama, President of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, His Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, Your Excellency President John Kufuor, former President of Ghana, Honorable Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Ministers from the Government of Ghana, ministers from across the length and breadth of our continent, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, distinguished leaders in the mining sector, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure and an honor for us to be invited to participate in this inaugural event. If I may congratulate His Majesty the King for the vision of convening us here to elaborate on the sustainability of the mining sector, not just in Ghana, but throughout the whole African continent. I also want to thank His Excellency President Mahama for his patronage of this event and for also his vision of sustainability of the mining sector. The AfCFTA Secretariat and the African Union, which I have the honor to represent here today, is proud to be associated with this event. It is, of course, fitting that we endorse and fully support this event. The government of Ghana has been instrumental in the success of the AfCFTA, in establishing a significant presence here in Ghana. The AfCFTA Secretariat is the largest African Union presence outside of Addis Ababa. I came here on the 15th of August 2020 to start the Secretariat. I was the only one in the Secretariat. Today, as we speak, we have 200 officials from across the African continent, representing different languages, different regions of our continent. And the reason we have been able to succeed in this mission is because of the support of the government of Ghana. As we speak, there are 49 state parties to the agreement establishing the AfCFTA, the fastest ratification of any instrument in the African Union, indeed, even under the Organization of African Unity. All of the protocols that our heads of states directed that we negotiate and conclude have been concluded. We are now transitioning to implementation mode to address Africa's pressing challenges, and the sustainability of the mining sector indeed is one of the challenges that we must confront. I therefore want to once again express my profound appreciation to the government and the people of Ghana for the successful implementation of the AfCFTA and the establishment of the Secretariat in 2020. As was noted, we meet at a time of profound global uncertainty, marked by shifting geo-economic tensions, the weaponization of trade policy, investment nationalism, industrial nationalism. Indeed, the continent of Africa must respond to these challenges. This imperative is reinforced by the ongoing strategic competition, which is increasingly defined by an approach that says me first, others last. Where does the African continent land in this environment? This dynamic makes it all the more urgent for Africa to deepen continental integration, to strengthen our resilience, and assert the economic interests of our continent more boldly on the global scale, especially as changes in global trade policy are looming, including the uncertainty of the future of AGOA. The operationalization of the AfCFTA offers the continent of Africa a transformative opportunity to drive industrial development, to drive sustainability, and to create a domestic market in Africa. The AfCFTA is a homegrown initiative rooted in Africa's own vision of prosperity. As a flagship project of Agenda 2063, the AfCFTA embodies our collective ambition to enhance intra-Africa trade, to ensure our own economic sustainability as a continent, and to see through the vision of our founding mothers and fathers when in May 1963, in the historic city of Addis Ababa, expressed a vision of a united Africa with an end to colonialism, and more importantly, a vision of economic integration. It is therefore befitting that the AfCFTA Secretariat is here in Ghana, a country that has always been at the vanguard of leadership in Africa. Key to the success of this agenda in this changing global environment will be how our continent leverages on digital technologies for sustainability, for inclusion, for poverty eradication, and to create jobs for millions and millions of young Africans. The Protocol on Digital Trade of the AfCFTA, which our heads of states adopted in February, is now in implementation mode. It is the first of its kind around the world and addresses very important aspects of Africa's digital economy, including payments, interoperable payment systems, movement of data, the commercialization of data, and the right to move data throughout the continent. Therefore, the gathering here today, over the next few days, is timely and indeed is consistent with the ambition of the Protocol on Digital Trade of the AfCFTA. The theme that I have been invited to address, I quote, "Gold without borders, tokenization and the next chapter in African trade," unquote, is indeed, as I mentioned earlier, timely. The Protocol on Digital Trade provides the legal framework for us to explore the sustainability of the mining sector, leveraging on digital technologies. Gold tokenization offers a practical demonstration for operationalization of the AfCFTA's digital framework, including the reduction of transaction costs, boosting intra-Africa trade in the mineral sector, improving traceability, and enhancing financial inclusion. This not only reinforces the AfCFTA's commitment to value addition, processing of our minerals here on our continent, and the rules-based multilateral trading system born in Africa, but also serves as an example of the forward-looking, inclusive innovation and inclusive innovation that all of us must champion throughout our continent. And so as we gather here today, permit me to state the obvious. We are not gathering to elaborate and discuss and dialogue on gold. It is about redefining the future of trade, particularly in the digital age, and it is about redefining the role of the mining sector and gold in particular in Africa's digital economy. The AfCFTA Secretariat is indeed proud to be associated with such a forward-looking event. This event, I am sure, will build on the momentum of the recently successful Digital Trade Forum, which was hosted by the President of Zambia and the AfCFTA Secretariat in May 2025. The forum reaffirmed Africa's digital potential. The political commitment is there, the investor commitment is there, and of course, our young people who are at the cutting edge of Africa's digital economy are ever ready to seize the opportunities that the digital economy presents to all of us. The International Financial Corporation estimates that by the year 2035, Africa's digital economy will be in excess of over 712 billion United States dollars, contributing over 6% to Africa's GDP. This is an immense opportunity that all of us must take advantage of. Our continent is a major gold producer, contributing over 1,000 tons in 2023, which is more than 20% of global output. This represents a significant source of wealth, with a large share coming from artisanal and small-scale mining, particularly here, our home in Ghana. However, despite this, up to 40% of Africa's gold remains undeclared, with an estimated $30 billion smuggled annually. This deprives governments of vital resources, of vital revenue, and undermines ethical sourcing and limits miners' access to finance. Therefore, tokenization offers a way to transform the structure of the gold industry. By representing physical gold digitally on secure blockchain platforms, tokenization enables traceable, near-instant cross-border trade in a secure manner. Globally, this model is gaining traction, with over $2 billion in tokenized gold assets as of 2024 alone, signaling rising investor confidence. Tokenization also presents the opportunity for us, as I mentioned earlier, to reduce costs, to ensure efficiency, and to expand on our ambition of financial inclusion. Now, if I may turn to the instruments of trade that can be offered by the AfCFTA as we transition the gold sector to align with our digital economy. The AfCFTA has local content rules, or rules of origin as they are called in trade speak. This shall enable the industrialization of the sector and shall ensure value addition and processing takes place on the African continent. The utilization of rules of origin to advance industrial development of the mining sector is a low-hanging fruit in our view, which we must take advantage of. There are various initiatives around our continent which indicate that more than ever, the continent of Africa is ready to take advantage of the digital technologies as they relate to the mining sector. Here in Ghana, the new Ghana Gold Board is introducing blockchain-based tracking to formalize production and reduce and eliminate smuggling. We see similar initiatives in South Africa, in the Central African Republic, across our continent, where digital technologies are deployed to advance on our ambition of industrial development, job creation, and competitiveness. These initiatives signal a decisive move beyond extractive models towards a future where Africa's gold is traceable, digitally tradable, and offers opportunities at inclusion. As we look to the future, the promise of gold tokenization is clear, but there are risks that we have to be aware of. To realize its full potential, we must proceed with due diligence, foresight, and collective action. Here's the good news. We are not starting from scratch as a continent. With the AfCFTA, we already have in place, in practice, a transformative agenda for Africa's trade landscape, which provides the foundational legal tools that are required to advance on this ambition. I therefore urge all of us gathered here to consider very carefully all of the trade instruments and the trade tools that are available at our disposal as we seek to champion the sustainability of the mining sector, and gold in particular, in this era of Africa's digital economy. With 49 members of the African Union having ratified the agreement establishing the AfCFTA, a market of 1.4 billion people, with a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion United States dollars, the AfCFTA offers an opportunity to scale not just industrial output in the mining sector, but also to scale productivity, investments, and offers legal certainty and regulatory clarity that I am sure will attract more investment. Let me conclude, Your Excellencies and Your Majesty, on this note. I believe we stand at a defining moment for our continent. As we navigate the turbulent global economic environment that all of us find ourselves in, on the face of it, which may appear as a challenge, actually is an opportunity for our continent. It is time that our continent redoubles, that we redouble our efforts at trade liberalization, investment liberalization, and creating opportunities when we process our own minerals, value addition of our own minerals, and attract investment in the mining, in the processing of our mining. While progress is visible, the challenges also remain. Therefore, our resolve to shape a future where Africa's resources uplift all of its people, and again, I wish to emphasize leveraging on digital technologies, this shall require that we become even more pragmatic in our actions and move collectively as a continent. Africa's gold has long been a symbol of wealth. Now, through innovation, collaboration, and leveraging on technologies, we have an opportunity to turn this vision into inclusive growth opportunities for all. Tokenization presents that opportunity to build a secure, transparent, and integrated mining sector where value is created, retained, and shared here on our continent. Allow me, as I close, to once again express my immense appreciation to the government and the people of Ghana, and also to His Majesty the King for the vision of convening us here to elaborate on the future of gold and the mining sector in particular. It is through Ghana's proactive and unwavering commitment and support of the AfCFTA that we are able today to proudly claim that not only do we have the world's largest free trade area, but also we are at the cutting edge of digital innovation through the protocol on digital trade. We also claim with pride that for the very first time around the world, we have a protocol on women and youth in trade, which does not exist anywhere else, which is able to ensure that we deliver on the promise and the aspiration of inclusivity, creating opportunities for women-owned and youth-owned businesses, and that we move beyond aspirations, which are, of course, important, but that we codify into legally binding commitments these aspirations of creating opportunities for small, medium enterprises that are owned by women and young people. With these words, I wish to thank all of you for your attention, and I wish us good deliberations over the next few days. I thank you very much.